This is the beginning of the assembly of the Nissan 350Z. So I've removed all of the parts from their frames. So over here we have the main body shell. I'm not sure yet what colour I'm going to keep the shell. I am considering going with the gold. I think they look really nice in the gold. That goldy bronze colour, you do see those on the road and they look quite stunning. So I may do that. I'd have to buy some paint for that, which I'm considering doing. So there's the shell. Then we've got the main floor pan area, which unfortunately has got the all of the assembly of the suspension all in place. This is the tub, if you like, which goes down into this middle section here, and we've got the seats. Remember, this is a two-seater car. You've got the back parcel tray area under the hatch, door cards, and the dashboard. I've gone for the right-hand drive. The wheels and tyres, I've assembled the tyre onto the wheel, and the discs and calipers. The wheels are offset. We've got slightly wider for the rear, slightly more narrow for the front. The windows section just pops into the body, gives us the side, rear and front screens. Down in here I've got some of the inside parts. We've got the steering wheel, gear lever, handbrake, instrument cluster, etc. The wing mirrors. Back over here we've got the scuttle. We've got the grille, spoiler and rear muffler with extensions. All of the light fixtures, they come with reflectors that go at the back of the light, so they should look quite stunning, I hope. Then we've got some transfers, and these are the tools that I use to actually cut them from the frame. In fact, this tool here I've been using on my aeroplane to notch in for the frame on the balsa wood, and they're working very well. They're very sharp, and they can nibble a small piece of balsa wood without causing damage to the rest of the frame. So these are good little cutters for those of you that are considering getting back into modelling or getting into modelling for the first time. The directions that come with this Tamiya kit are absolutely fantastic. They're very comprehensive, step by step, of exactly how to go about all of the assembly, the order in which to do the assembly. In a few different languages. I'm only concerned with English for myself. And then the view of the model. I'll just flip the directions over. We can see more instructions on the other side, showing a lot more of the detail of the assembly. This is actually the starting side, to be fair. Starts at 1 here, works its way through. And over here we've got some of the suggested tools and cement to use. This is the cement that I'm going to be using, the Revell cement. It's great to use. It's got a nice little metal tip. Gives you really good precision application for your glue. So I'm not expecting any trouble with this kit. I'm not going to rush it, I'll just take it steadily. I've just paused from my plane for a little while. I'm just waiting for some more balsa cement. I've got some on order, so I thought I'd make a start on this model. So I think that instructions are very good, and down to the final step here, final assembly there. So this is the correct order to actually read the instructions. I guess I will go through the instructions, but I'm fairly experienced in putting together these Tamiya models, so I may just look at it now and again, but I don't think that I personally will need them too much. So what I've got to decide to do is my painting, because it's going to be better to paint my body of the vehicle before I assemble all of the parts, especially the glass insert. So that'll give me a far nicer result. And also I think I'll have to paint the side mirrors. So that's the next thing I'm going to consider. The under side of the chassis area, it's unfortunately all completed for us. There's very little for us to do here. The wheels are just held on with a steel axle that just runs through this part here and just through the front suspension as well. So no real detail there. Unfortunately, we can't have the wheels turning out or anything. They're all going to face straight through. So yeah, so would I suggest this model? Well, Tamiya kits are very well built, and their precision to scale is excellent, but just this particular kit, for me, it needs more detail. As I was saying in my earlier video on the opening of the box of the kit, I'm just disappointed that we don't have the engine that we can build up from scratch with the transmission and insert that into the chassis. Also things like the exhaust system, drive shaft, differential, all that stuff, it's already been preformed. Rear suspension is all preformed. I prefer to build all these up from the individual components, pretty much as the car would come into the assembly at the factory, with the ability to have my front wheels being able to be freely turned from side to side for steering. And it's also good for the stance of the car when you have it on display. I like to have the wheels slightly off, slightly pointed out. I think it gives it a nice stance. Also, we've got no opening bonnet and no opening hatch. Probably wouldn't normally get the opening doors and hatch with these models, but typically the bonnet or hood is able to be removed so that you can see the engine detail. All of the engine details, the whole engine bay, battery box, and all of the various accessories all there. But anyway, it is what it is. So it's not a very difficult model to construct. Maybe you could suggest this would be a good one for a beginner to start on, and that there aren't a lot of parts, and that the assembly is going to be fairly straightforward. The result will look very good, and that's pretty much where you're going to be on this model. So I think I will keep looking for a more detailed one. I actually found a very nice Mercedes S-Class model that I was looking at. It's fairly pricey, but it did have real detail. And while I was looking at that, I got slightly sidetracked in that I saw an Africa Twin motorcycle, and I thought, oh my goodness me, I wouldn't mind doing that model, but it was $300. So I'll have to think about that. So there you go, everybody. A little update on getting started, if you like, with the Tamiya model for the Nissan 350Z. We call them the 350Zs or the 300ZXs for the earlier models. We don't tend to use down in this part of the world. We don't say 350Z. We tend to pronounce the Z as Z. So we call them the Z cars. And they are very, very popular down here in New Zealand. We all really like the 300ZXs, the 350Zs, and the 370Zs. Awesome cars. The 300ZXs from the vintage of say 89 twin turbos through the 90s have really taken off in value. And so people that held on to those cars in good condition, they are looking at a sizable return on their investment. Those cars have gone from about $2,000 or $3,000 for quite a good one, right up now into the 30s, 40s, and $50,000 range. Very, very impressive investment in only a few years. In my case, I sold my last 300ZX NA. I sold that, it was a 91, and I sold that I think for about $3,000. I'm sure that vehicle now is up there in the higher range because it was an absolutely immaculate, low mileage, black leather interior. It ran sweetly as. But hindsight, that's what it's all about, guys, when it comes to investing in motor vehicles. Because some cars, of course, have gone down in value, dropped like a stone. So there you go. I'll make a video further on when I've got some more assembly done, and also once I've decided on the final colour of the body. You might want to comment on what you think a good colour to be. I want to keep it a stock colour, so what you see out on the road. They do have some very nice blues out there. Silver itself looks very nice, don't get me wrong, a lot of them are silver, but I think that red or gold may be the way to go. I've already got a red model, so maybe if I go gold it'll look nice with my collection. Thank you for viewing, and many thanks to my recent subscribers to my small channel. I really do appreciate you joining, and I hope that some of the content that I'm bringing to you is what you'd like to see. Catch you a little bit later.